Factor crap, loot, items, and mounts. Now, whenever you're talking loot, this is whenever I get serious. This is whenever shit get real. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get all of these right. I just want to let you guys know that's what's going to happen.
In this video, we'll go over 20 true or false statements based around Warcraft loot and gear. There'll be 3 stages of difficulty. The first 5 questions will be easy, the next 10 questions will be of medium difficulty, and the last 5 will be hard. Then there'll be a grading scale at the end of the video to see how well you did.
Okay.
Now, let's get started. The Proto-Drake, which drops from Scotty the Ruthless in the Wrath of the Lich King dungeon, Utgard Pinnacle, is blue in color.
It also only drops on Heroic.
Fact. Scotty drops the blue Proto-Drake, of the same model as the Drake which helps him out in his fight, and has about a 1% chance to drop on Heroic mode only.
There it is.
It's also one of the few mounts that drops from a dungeon boss in-game. Tabards, which grant reputation while worn, did not exist in the game until Wrath of the Lich King.
True.
Fact. The very first rep tabards were added to the game with Wrath of the Lich King, which allowed you to put on a tabard for a specific faction and then just run dungeons in order to get reputation for that faction. The name of the mount you can obtain from killing the Lich King is called Invisible.
That's because whenever you see it, you turn 360 degrees around and walk away.
Crap. It's actually known as Invincible, but is commonly memed in the WoW community for being invisible because the 2 words sound similar. This item can only be obtained by 1 player per server and was needed to open the gates of Ahn'Qiraj. This item was known as the Scepter of the Golden Sands.
That's double crap because you can obtain it with multiple people.
Crap. It was actually known as the Scepter of the Shifting
multiple
Sands.
people can get it.
The Phoenix Mount, Ashes of Alar, can simply be obtained by killing the Phoenix boss in Tempest Keep, Alar.
Nope. That's a nope.
Crap. The mount drops from Kalthas, the last boss in Tempest Keep. Killing the Phoenix boss, or the first boss in the instance, does not have a chance at dropping the Phoenix Mount, Ashes of Alar, despite the boss looking like the Phoenix Mount. And now we'll move on to the more medium-level difficulty questions.
Okay.
First up, there exists a potion in the game called Zanzil's Slow Poison, which has an effect to instantly kill your player 1 week after using it.
Well, it doesn't instantly kill, it does damage. It does a large amount of damage, which effectively instantly kills. So, you know, I don't know if that's like really a good...
Fact. Drinking the potion will give you a 7-day debuff, which will inflict 50 million damage to your character once it expires. The vendor Harris Pilton is known for selling a gigantic bag. This bag is currently the largest bag available in the game.
It was in Burning Crusade, but it's not anymore. It was a 22-slot bag, I believe. It's not anymore.
Crap. While the vendor does sell a bag called the Gigantic Bag, it's only a 22-slot bag, which is actually pretty small by today's standards.
Sure is.
As you can craft a 30-slot bag pretty cheaply. In addition to being one of the few usable mounts at level 1, the Heirloom Motorcycle mount also has the unique distinction where you cannot be dismounted from a daze while riding it.
Very true.
Fact. As of making this video, the Heirloom Trike is the only mount which has an innate ability to not dismount you from a
passenger.
But who knows if this will go away once they release mount equipment.
Yeah, you're technically
it's also unique in being one of the few mounts which doesn't auto-change its riding speed, so it only ever goes at an increased 60% movement speed and never goes up to 100%.
If it didn't, it'd be
That's
OP.
because you don't need riding skill in order to use it, and can use it from level 1. There once existed one mount in the game that was so rare, only one person ever owned it.
That's happened twice, actually, so that's actually not true. It's an incorrect question. There have been multiple times where only as a mount has existed and only one person had access
the fluorescent green Mechanostrider was accidentally given to a player in 2006 by a GM trying to give him back.
They also gave another kid a Ashes of Alar mount and called it Peep's Whistle because he had like cancer or something. It was a Make-A-Wish Foundation. So you count this one and also that one too. So it'd be actually 2 times, technically.
a different mount he accidentally deleted. The player was allowed to keep this mount for years until his account got banned and the mount was taken away. The mount obtained from obtaining 100 mounts is the red or blue Dragonhawk, depending on your faction.
That's a big true. My friend Infamous Link got the server first for that mount. I remember it was Wrath of the Lich King. Everybody was standing around them. People were so fucking excited to see it.
You get mounts for obtaining lots of mounts, and one of the easier milestones is to get the red or blue Dragonhawk. In Vanilla WoW, some raid bosses could drop gear or equipment that was quite literally useless for the raid team.
That's actually true.
And had to be either vendored or disenchanted.
Because the shaman gear could drop if you were in Alliance raid. And so it would be effectively useless.
Fact. With shamans being a horde-only class and paladins being an alliance-only class, if your raid team got exclusive gear for either of those classes, and you were of the opposite faction, no one could actually use it.
And also,
since there was no such thing as
forget about that one too.
Raiding, or there's never been such a thing,
I never thought of that.
Both factions would equally get useless pieces of equipment on the regular, so it was usually just sold or disenchanted. The first ever mount added to the Blizzard store was this mount, the Celestial Steed.
True. True.
Fact. The first ever store mount was the Celestial Steed, more commonly known as the Sparkle Pony, and there was lots of contention over this addition, as it actually gave a lot of in-game advantages, since the mount would be mailed to every single new alt character you made, meaning you didn't have to spend gold for your first mount, scaled with your riding skill, and could even fly once you hit Outlands and Northrend. No other mounts in the game could do that when it was released, before all of those features became pretty much standard later on in WoW's history. Nowadays, store mounts are basically just cosmetics and give no in-game advantages. The Penny Pouch, the smallest bag in the game, only has 3 inventory slots.
I don't know if that's true or not. I think it only has like 2, actually. I'm pretty sure it has 2.
Crap. The Penny Pouch only has 1 inventory slot, and is obtained during the Hollow Zen holiday event, as almost
So I did technically get that one right, because this is a true-false distinction. So saying that it does not have 3 is false. Part of this, no, listen. So this is a true-false thing. Knowing something isn't right is technically a correct answer, even if you don't know what the right answer is. Okay? Get mad all you want, but I haven't gotten a single one wrong.
Trash item since it's basically useless. Quivers and ammo pouches used to increase your ranged attack speed while they were equipped. This ranged attack speed increase also affected wands, which were considered ranged weapons.
I don't even know if that's true or not. I have no idea. I'm gonna say that's crap, but they couldn't even equip wands, so why would that even matter?
Crap.
Yeah.
Quiver and ammo pouches only increase the range attack speeds of guns, bows, and crossbows.
Yeah.
The on-use effect of the Fangs of the Father legendary daggers was to grant the rogue a slow fall effect.
True. That's a true.
Fact.
Easy.
The class, which takes reduced fall damage,
that quest line was
got a
fucking
slow
amazing.
fall effect
I love
put on
that
their
quest
legendary
line.
weapon, which allowed them to sprout dragon-like wings. And now we'll move on to the last 5 harder questions.
Okay.
The Ray tier armor set, called Dreadnought's Battle Gear, was a tier set designed specifically for combat rogues.
Of course it was. Of course, tanking combat rogues in Naxxramas. It's obviously tier 3 warrior gear from Naxxramas.
Crap. It was actually designed for warriors, as Blizzard doesn't make Ray tier armor for specific specs.
Obviously.
They only do whole classes, or used to anyway.
That was an easy one.
Drinking a Noggin Fogger elixir has a chance to produce a random effect when you drink it. Now, here is the fact or crap statement. The following 3 effects are possible outcomes when drinking the Noggin Fogger elixir. Your character will transform into a skeleton, your character will breathe fire, or your character will gain the slow fall effect.
Like, I don't think you can breathe fire. I think that's Dragon Breath Chili. Yeah.
Crap. Your character does have a chance to have one of the 3 random effects, except one of the random effects is not to breathe fire.
Yeah, it's Dragon Breath Chili.
It is instead for your character to turn tiny. So the 3 random effects are skeleton, tiny character, or the slow fall effect. Legendary item Thoridol, the Stars of Fury, has a special effect.
I thought these were
where you
supposed to be
didn't
the
need
hard
ammo
questions.
to
That's
use the
fucking
bow
easy.
because
That's
it created
that's
its
a
own
true.
magical arrows.
That's a true. Yeah, that's a fucking true.
Fact. This legendary bow was the only weapon in the game which didn't require ammo before ammo was removed in Cataclysm. Although its magical arrows didn't really give it a huge bonus. It was more of a legendary item with a pretty neat convenience instead.
That's basically
The
right.
only item included in the backpack of all brand new level 1 characters is the Hearthstone.
I mean, that seems to be true, yeah. I mean, like, well, wait a minute. Like, the only item included in the backpack...
Fact. All
yeah.
brand new players only have the
go.
Hearthstone in their bags. They used to also have food and drinks in their bags, but I think those were removed from the starting characters' bags in either Mist of Pandaria or Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, nowadays... they don't
Gem
have
slots used to have a color associated to them in order
Yeah.
to obtain a bonus.
True.
Some gems could count as multiple colors. Now, here is the
Yes.
question. Green gems used to provide bonuses for both red and blue slots.
Wrong. 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 Green was yellow and blue, I think.
Crap. Green
Yep.
gems provided bonuses for yellow and blue slots. The gems which provided multiple colors had colors which were a combination of red, blue, and yellow main color slots. So, mixing yellow and blue creates the color green.
I
in real
never
life. So
understood
a
that.
green gem could be used as either a
I don't know how... I really don't know how green happens. I've never understood green. Like, I get orange. Orange makes sense. Like, purple makes sense. Kind of. But, like, green? That shit makes me want to believe in God. That's how much it doesn't make sense to me.
yellow or blue gem slot in order to fulfill that pieces of equipment sockets bonus, whereas purple gems were used for red and blue slots. Alright, and that's the end of the quiz. I'll have a grading scale on screen to see how well you did. If you managed to get all 5 hard questions correct, go ahead and give yourself 1 bonus point. So, if you got 18 or more questions correct, you are
You know
a
what I
loot
got?
expert. Or if you got 11 or
21.
less, then you are not.
I got
Now,
21,
a big part of
boys.
the reason I make these videos is to
21.
watch WoW streamers play them on their streams. So if you're one of those people watching this video, go ahead and tell your chat to subscribe to this channel, as that's probably the best way to support these videos to make sure more of them get made.
Smart guy. Smart guy. All right, I'll link his chat. I'll link his channel. What a smart guy. There you go. Give him a fucking sub right there. Okay, please do that because we need to keep this content coming, okay? Like, see, yeah, now he's learned and he's playing into the meta. That's a very, very smart guy. Listen, all these questions were fucking easy. I think the fact that I got every single one of these right without even any sort of a question in my mind about it being true is a pretty good way to tell where my mindset and where my priorities lie. I don't care about the lore of the game. I don't care about the history of the game. I don't care about the players of the game. I care about the fucking loot. So whenever you get down to the items, whenever you get down to the fucking stuff, I care about that. And I'm gonna get every single fucking one right, okay? I go in there, I've got a list of items in my notepad document. I don't have a list of players in a raid. I don't have a list of friends. I got a list of loot, all right? And that's just the way it goes. Dreadnought's Battle Gear, sub him. You know what? I'll sub him on my alternate channel, okay? Actually, I need to do that because there's no way I can fucking spell his name. So this is going to be the only way I'm going to be able to get back to the channel. Grading A for Asmongold. Look at that, dude. He probably fails and tries to tell us why he was basically right. Wrong, you fucking idiot piece of shit. Suck my dick. Okay, where's the rest of these? Actually, it has Mouse Lich King because it hasn't dropped from me yet. Yeah, well, then maybe you fucking should play the game a little bit more. Imagine not having Invincible in 2019. Oh, wait, actually, imagine playing Retail WoW in 2019. Well, I guess actually not a lot of people can get into the beta. Yeah, that was so easy, dude. Like, 100 fucking %. Wait, is this another one, dude? Here before Asmongold makes content out of this. Asmongold cheats. Streamers in plural. Everybody's talking about me, dude. Can you believe that? Can you get me into the beta? Yeah, dude. No, actually, I can't get you into the beta. Okay, I can't even joke around with that. The servers are still down, as you guys can see. So we're gonna have a little bit more time. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Streamers, exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna have to keep waiting for this. What are the other videos that we can take a look at and watch here? Those were obviously really fucking easy. Okay, let's just be honest. Those were a complete fucking joke. Read the first comment of that video. Number 19 is wrong. Pandaren still spawn with food in their bags. There's small, 5 small sugarcane stalks around with their healthstone. Well, sugarcane isn't food, okay? Because whenever I told my mom I wanted to eat sugar for breakfast or for dinner, she said that's not food. So, you know, I don't think that's even true at all. So, we'll go ahead and we'll just ignore that. Okay, wait, just a second. Let me, oh, Mr. Bad Apple with the 20 gifted community subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, man. I fucking appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, just 1 second. Let me go ahead and look at, let's see. Which one should I look at? We can look at the Dungeon Set 2 gear. This is always really interesting. This gear is going to be added later on in the game. Let me make sure that I'm not missing any more of these. 10 changes that were made after Vanilla WoW that made WoW better. I should watch this video just to trigger you guys, because I know people are going to get mad about it, right? Because they're like, oh no, that's not true. Everything about Vanilla WoW is perfect and nothing needed ever to change. But it is kind of weird. Here's one thing that I think about, is that everything in Vanilla WoW just randomly came together. And it was like perfect. And I genuinely think that it was probably an accident. Like, because it was so genius. Like, the entire game was so fucking genius that I can't believe that anyone except for Jesus could come up with this game, right? And like all of the different ways. Like, I don't know how it could be so perfect. Does that make sense? Miss Pandaria is what ruined WoW. My dad said, it seems like whenever the pandas came out, things started to go downhill. That's specifically what he told me. So yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll read this. Let me read all the donations real quick. Just a second. My name is spoke by Coke or Pepsi. Were you born as a... Oh, I can't read that word, man. Like, I've got to... Oh, man. I think I have to... What do you call it? I have to, like, ban you or something for that, because I'll get in trouble for having that word there. First, the epic raid on Scarlet Armory would have the second raid must go on. Okay. I'm your best subscriber. Donated 500 bits. I was going to have a question that's not been raised in a while. How's the snack box going to be set up for Classic World of Warcraft? I'm going to basically throw everything away and then completely start new. Okay. Because that's what we're doing. We're completely clearing the slate. We're starting new. I'm going to be doing the same thing. Will you react to the Classic WoW parody cover and song? I don't know what that is, so I don't want to react to it or watch it right now, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this, all right? Gotten beta, new wave. I don't know about there being a new wave, man. Let me just go ahead and double check. If there is a new wave, I'll look at the new posts on Classic WoW. Oh, check your beta. Just got in. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Yo, boys, check your shit. Check your shit right now. Let's see if we can get in. Who just got in? Who just got in? All right, let's go ahead and we'll watch the video, I guess. I mean, what the fuck else are we gonna do while we wait for the servers to come back up? So this is the tier 2.5, sorry, 0.5 gear. I never got any of this gear. This is like the heroism gear and you know, other stuff like that. Okay, guys, so yeah, make sure that you download Classic WoW, so by the time the servers actually come up, you'll be ready to come out and play.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another episode in the
badass.
Azeroth Arsenal. This is a series where we take a look at some of the more interesting weapons and armor in the game's history.
Okay.
This one is a little different because the focus is on armor as opposed to the previous episodes, which were mainly weapons. In vanilla World of Warcraft, before raiding, you had the tier 0 dungeon set. This is the blue armor set for each class, and the pieces were scattered across many different dungeons in the game. It was the set to get pre-raids, and they were highly sought after.
I never completed
my Valor set. It was the Wild Heart. For Hunters, the Beaststalker. Mage, the Magister set. Paladins, the Lightforge armor. The Priest set was called Devout. Rogues had Shadowcraft. The Shaman had the Elements. Warlock, the Dreadmist. and Warriors the Valor set.
Yep.
At first, it was quite rare to see someone with the full set, and it was almost a status symbol. Before people started raiding, even blue items were impressive, so it was like, whoa, this guy knows his stuff.
Yo, imagine getting impressed over a blue nowadays. And combining that with the
looks and the set bonus made them quite special.
I'll look at it at some point, right?
These sets would of course be later replaced by the superior Tier 1 set found in the Molten Core raid.
Of course.
And then that would be replaced by Tier 2, and so on.
Oh, dude, there it is.
But lost within the shuffle was something called the Tier 0.5 set, or the Dungeon Set 2 as it's called. This was sneaked in patch 1.10 in March of 2006.
Oh, that's where they added the weather
point,
effects.
The Temple of Ankh-Kiraj raid was already in the game, and that held tier 2.5, so raiders really had no interest in this revamped dungeon set. It was more aimed towards those who just stuck with 5-mans as their endgame, of which there were plenty because raiding back then was so time-consuming.
I don't think it was that hard, was it?
These sets were slightly better and modified versions of their originals.
Thank you.
The Wild Heart upgraded to Feral Heart, Beast Stalker to Beast Master, Magisters to Sorcerers, Lightforge to Soulforge, Devout to Virtuous, Shadowcraft to Dark Mantle, Elements to the Five Thunders, Dreadmist to Deathmist, and Valor to Heroism. In looks, they were just different color palettes for the most part,
they were better.
But in stats and rarity, they were superior to their blue counterparts. The quest chain that awarded them was the same for each class, but it was very long and expensive, and as a result, not a lot of people completed it, and in fact, if you mention these tier 0.5 sets to people today, most of them will have no clue what you're talking about.
I remember, like, whenever I saw how long it would take for me to get my tier 0.5 set, I was like, fuck it, I guess I'll just farm Grand Marshal instead. Like, I didn't want to waste my time. I thought it was a fucking waste of I thought it was just a complete waste of time. Like, why do I want to spend all day doing this piece of shit and getting this bad gear that's not even better than stuff in MC for me to do this? And I just got the MC, I just worked on the Grand Marshal gear instead. Thank you for finding out the new beta opt-in. Refresh my app and I was logged in. I saw the classic beta service offline. You're a beast. Keep on streaming, man. See you in game. The rule after, thank you very much, to $20. I appreciate that, man. Let's go ahead and it's a bug. You didn't actually get in. I really hope that's not the case. Just get rank 13. I got up to Knight Lieutenant, and then the 2.0 patch came out. Then I got the rest of my GM gear. Unfortunately, I didn't really grind enough. I just started too late into the game, and I didn't get enough time to do it.
So, I thought I'd cover the chain in its entirety and tell you about something that I think is a mystery to a lot of people. Mainly for entertainment, but who knows? If you decide to play the classic servers, maybe you can even use it as a guide.
Arsenal with the 5 gifted community subs. Thank you very much,
The main goal of it is to collect 3 fragments of an amulet and to break an ancient curse. This video will be from an Alliance perspective, but the chain is pretty much mirrored for the Horde. I'll list any minor differences in text, but other than that, the main differences are the turn and NPCs. So, for the Alliance, it all started from the NPC Deliana, located just outside the throne room in Ironforge.
It was expensive,
and Makvar, the treasurer for the Horde, who you could find in Thrall's throne room in Orgrimmar.
Fuck that, 100%.
They tell you that they have in their possession a powerful set of armor worn by your class, and they're willing to give it to you for a favor. So, because this chain upgrades your tier 0 to 0.5, you of course had to already own all of your tier 0 set, which consisted of 8 pieces.
What a waste
of
fucking time.
The belt, boots, gloves, pants, shoulders, chest, and head.
Easy.
Going with the Alliance chain, the first step is to upgrade the bracers. Deliana sends you to the Winter Spring Zone, located all the way on the other continent. Remember, this is vanilla, and the
That's a real quest right there. You start in the town, you go to the other fucking continent. That's like a quest for Christopher Columbus. You think about that. It's the same damn thing. Actually, that's a really good way to look at it. So you feel like Christopher Columbus doing quests in vanilla WoW. Because you're going over to different continents, you have no fucking idea what's going on, and then you kill the people that are living there. And now the quests are just participation rewards. It's like track and field in 3rd grade. The only good thing about it is you don't actually have to do any work that day.
Traveling for these quests was legendary, and it was all on the ground, so there was a lot of walking.
goddamn right there was.
You needed to get 15 blood samples from the wildlife here, and if you brought the blood back and give her 20 gold and your bracers, you get the upgraded bracers for the dungeon set too. Just 7 more to go.
I never did this
At this point, with this 20 gold investment,
yeah, right.
I do want to emphasize just how expensive it was to finish this whole chain. And it's the main reason why a lot of people skipped it.
What a waste of fucking
This 20
money.
gold is just the beginning.
Oh my god.
And if you take into account that you're losing your original enchants, this chain is pretty pricey to finish. But with this, part 1 is done, and we have the bracers.
Fucking right.
For the next part, you need to talk to a dead person's ghost, and to do that, you need to visit a master engineer that specializes in the supernatural. You're sent to Muck's manuscript.
300 IQ idea for Blizzard. Next patch. Bring this quest line back, and just upgrade all the gear to level 120. Just upgrade all the gear. Like, I don't know why they don't do shit like this. Bring the entire quest line back, upgrade all the gear, make classic time walking week, and have people be able to go back and get this gear. I would fucking love to see that. And I really wish that, like, Blizzard, like, those kinds of ideas, if they did a classic time walking, I would fucking love that. I don't know how they could make it good enough to meet people's expectations, though. That's the issue. Maybe they could do it like once a year. That's the only way I could think it working. I think it would work. And have Nax 40 out for the week. I still think that's a good idea, man. I don't care if everybody disagrees with me. I think it'd be fucking badass. Like, imagine that week, dude. Everybody would be on. Everybody would be playing. Holy shit. Everybody would be ready. People would be leveling up alts all year round just to do that one fucking week. And it would feel great.
Scrambler and Gadgetsan, and being a goblin, he of course wants money out of you.
And they'd allow Masterwood in there,
to progress to the next part,
just to make
you
it a
need
little
to
bit
give
more
him
exciting.
40 gold, which at this point was a lot back then.
Yep.
Most people had maybe 100-ish in their pockets. Everyone was broke. But that wasn't all. You also needed a bunch of trade materials, which also cost gold. And this is where most people said, you know, screw this. This is out of my price range, so I'll just stick with the old tier set. So, the total shopping list here was a delicate Arcanite converter, which was made by engineers, 4 greater eternal essences, which enchanters got from disenchanting high-level greens, 10 stone scale oil, which were made by alchemists, and 25 volcanic ash, which you had to get by yourself. You got this in the burning step zone on the ground, typically near lava pools, so it didn't cost anything.
Didn't you need blood
but it was a lot of travel, and 25 made it pretty time-consuming.
I forgot.
And in terms of travel, we're just getting started.
Nowadays?
Mux builds you a ghost trap, and for the next part, you need to use... And in terms of travel, we're...
Quick trivia. Who's that a statue of, guys? Who's that a statue of? Lothar. Good. Good.
Just getting started. Mux builds you a ghost trap, and for the next part, you need to use this trap and collect ectoplasm from all across the world. To use this trap, you needed something called goblin rocket fuel, and you're given 8 to start off, but if you used all of them before you collected all 36 essences, you had to buy more from an engineer.
Yep. Yeah, this is
you
Ghostbusters,
need 12 scorched ectoplasms from enemies in Silithus, 12 frozens from enemies in Winterspring, and 12 stables from enemies in the Eastern Plaguelands.
Okay.
Did I say that the traveling in vanilla was ridiculous yet? Anyways, you bring all of...
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't really, like, because you just go AFK. Like, you're AFK for like half the game. It's kind of like... You know what I mean? Like, all right, here's a good way for me to look at it. You know whenever you're like 12, 13, and you just discover how great titties are, and anytime your mom literally goes down to the corner store, you're on the computer in like fucking record time, looking up porn, like jacking off like so fucking fast, right? She goes to the grocery store. This is the best day of your life, all right? And you get to sit there on the computer for like a whole hour, right? And But by the time that you're like, you know, maybe like 24, 25, and you've already got your own place, you've got your own room, and you can just look at porn all day long if you want, it loses a little bit of its excitement to a certain extent because you're just doing it all the time. And it's kind of like Vanilla WoW. Vanilla WoW is blue-balling you because there are so many periods where like you're just fucking not doing anything. So you're just waiting for that one moment where you actually get to play your character. And in BFA, you're just always playing your character. So it's just like, okay, all right, let's go. Let's keep going. And I really think, like, I mean, like, this is a 200 IQ. Again, this is what I was talking about before, how Blizzard, it's like some kind of, like, just a fucking, a mastermind mistake that they've made with Vanilla WoW. I think that the genius of Vanilla WoW is that half of it wasn't even intentional. And even the devs said that. Kevin Jordan said, it's like, was this planned? Like, no, it just happened. I don't know. Like, I think that's just, it's the genius of unintended consequences. It's really fucking cool. Truly extraordinary, just like Smash Melee. Exactly, just like Smash Melee.
The Skoo and the trap back to Mux and Tannerus, and he sends you back to the Burning Steppes to get the Magma Core from an Earth Elemental located inside the zone.
Okay.
Hey, why didn't you tell me to do this while I was getting the ash earlier? What an asshole. So, you returned the core, and you just need one more part.
Holy shit.
It's a Fel Elemental Rod, but the only problem is that you have to buy it from an imp merchant named Veal, and he's located in an elite-infested area in the southern Winterspring Zone, all the way north.
Asshole? That's a funny guy.
Luckily, though, he isn't super deep into the area, and he's in the first cave you see on the right-hand side. The rod also costs 40 gold, so it's pretty pricey.
Yep, 40 fucking gold.
So you buy the rod,
imagine wasting all
Mux,
your money for that.
And he finishes the device and tells you to return it to Deliana in Ironforge if you're Alliance, or Makvar in Orgrimmar if you're Horde.
Of course.
As a reward for getting this far, for the next quest, you're asked to turn in your belt and gloves for the upgrade. And as a bonus, the gloves are actually an upgrade in rarity, your first purple piece of the set. But you're not satisfied with just 3 pieces. So you ask for the next task, and you're sent to the entrance of the Stratholme dungeon along with the ghost device. You're told to use this device near the entrance, and doing so will reveal the ghost of Anthean Harmon. From him, you need to obtain some information about a special amulet. He agrees to help you, but in return, you must do him a favor. You need to go inside the Stratholme dungeon and rescue someone called Ysida Harmon from the final boss of the undead side, Baron Rivendare.
I don't remember this at all.
So, this is our first official group quest in the chain.
There's
just one catch though. When you enter the dungeon, a 45-minute timer starts.
Wait, this is what the 45-minute timer was for?
At the end of it. Not only do you need to click through the dungeon,
after the
but you also had to do it pretty quickly and carefully so you don't wipe. But if you're successful, Ysida gave you her locket, which you returned to Anthean.
Okay.
You ask him information about a Draconid named Valthalak and a special medallion that he held.
Okay.
And he tells you that the medallion had Valthalak's soul stored inside, and that he took it and divided it amongst his friends.
God damn.
Upon doing so, they unleashed a curse upon themselves that's still active, even in death.
That's actually so
fucking cool. He says that he gave the first piece to a dwarf named Theldrin, who is a gladiator for the Dark Iron Dwarves.
Okay.
So, you need to fight him and get the medallion back, but to do so, you need a bunch of materials.
Fuck yeah.
You need 3 Dark Iron bars, which were made by miners, 20 enchanted leathers from enchanters, 3 mooncloth from tailors, and 4 cured rugged hides from leatherworkers. All pretty pricey trade goods, so the investment was really starting to pile up at this point.
Yep.
And what did you need all of this stuff for? A banner, of course.
It's incomplete.
Hey, you can't just fight the guy. You need this special banner.
You gotta get him mad
first. It's not even finished yet. You need to take this incomplete banner to an NPC named Valorant Treeshaper, located in the library of the Dire Maul dungeon, so, again, a group is needed to clear to this NPC.
Oh, Dire Maul.
And to follow along with the scheme of things, before he'll help you, you need to do him a favor.
Oh, come on.
He asks you to kill ogres inside of Dire Maul and to bring him their war beads as proof. 25 of them total.
Wow.
And for this, you at least get an amulet as a reward, which is a nice little bonus. Upon completing this, Falarin will enchant the banner that'll somehow provoke Theldrin, but to...
My mom actually completed a lot of this quest back in Vanilla WoW, I'm pretty sure. Because she was never going to raid, and she never really did PvP. So she just completed this quest, just like all she did.
Do that, he needs more materials first. You need 4 dark runes, which are drops from enemies in the Skolamance dungeon. So for these, you either got a group, or you bought them off of the auction house since they weren't soulbound. You also needed 8 large brilliant shards, which enchanters got from disenchanting high-level blue items, and a quest item called the Jeering Spectre Essence, which dropped from ghosts located inside the Dire Maul dungeon.
Of course.
So, lots of help required.
Of course.
This is a pretty elaborate way of challenging someone to a fight, don't you think? Anyways, you take this special banner to the arena located inside the Blackrock Depths instance to summon the secret Theldrin boss and his posse. And your goal, of course, is to take him down. He dropped some loot, some of which is unique in transmog, so to this day, people are looking for others with the banner still to get some rare transmogs.
I got that bow myself.
And he also dropped the first fragment of the amulet.
Service incompatible. We're waiting.
You returned this to Antheon, and he tells you that the only way to stop the curse is to put the amulet back together, so you need 2 more fragments.
Okay.
This is about the halfway point of the chain. Hey, I told you this was a long one. Not to tease you here, but I think for the sake of not making this video too long, we'll come back to this in part 2, so
dude.
I'll see you then.
Oh
to
my
be continued.
God.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
This shit would just take so goddamn long, man. Like, I really, I don't know, restart the client? Okay, let me restart client, and we'll see what happens, okay? I'll see if the servers are going to come up. Yeah, obviously, like, those chains were really, really long. Very, very time investment. Yeah, it still says incompatible, unfortunately. I'll try to log in. Let's see. It just says log in. So I'll go back to incompatible, and then we'll look at something else, okay? Watch yourself with the reaction at Tides of Vengeance 2 trailer. Reminds me of Dragon Slayer from RuneScape. Yeah, I know in RuneScape there's a ton of, like, really big quests, too. And so I think this is, like, one thing that WoW used to have a lot of, and nowadays they don't really have that much of, which is unfortunate. Random quest chain in vanilla has better lore than BFA. Well, I mean, this is a main quest chain I guess like in vanilla WoW. It was a big quest chain. But the point is, yeah, I do think they did a better job with the lore. And I think one of the reasons they did it is they wrote it with, like, more of, like, a, I don't know. It just seemed like it was more raw. And I think, like, if I had to describe, like, everything about it and, like, why I thought it was better, it would be kind of complex. But one of the reasons that I like it more is the fact that the player is not necessarily an actor in the story itself. They're more of, like, a secondary character that just moves the plot forward, which is actually what I prefer. And I don't like how the game narrative takes the player into consideration nowadays. I'm just not a fan of it. That's like an RP thing, okay? Like, so, okay, this is like, you know, all right, get on your robe and wizard hat and let's all listen to Asmongold talk about, you know, his character's narrative. But I just feel like it's important. And whenever there's a certain level of escapism, there's a spectrum of escapism that people have in video games. And I think that whenever you put the character in the storyline, unless that escapism matches with the storyline that you have in your head, then it's just completely, they run counter to each other. And I don't like that at all. Okay, homeless wizard, it's not like you're part of the world. Well, I don't think that the player should be considered as part of the world, except for just like a nameless adventurer or something like that, right? It's just like actors inside the game. Is the alpha server? Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way I feel, right? Where are you on the spectrum? So I am on the spectrum for this, and I would say that, like, there are people that do like hard RP and then soft RP. I think that in a lot of ways I kind of do soft RP in some ways where I kind of act a little bit different whenever I'm playing the game than I would in real life, right? But I'm not taking on the role as like, oh, I'm Asmongold that comes from Hillsbrad Foothills or something like that, or Winterspring. It's just like, it's a middle ground. That's the point that I'm trying to make. More videos? Yeah. All right, we'll look at this one here. This is a question that a lot of people have asked. Tips made this video. What's next? Classic TBC or patch 1.13? Everybody wonders, everybody asks, nobody agrees. Part 2? Actually, yeah, alright, let's just go part 2. Good point. Let's do part 2. The quest continues. It could. Oh, that shield. I used to have that shield. I never got the Arcanite Reaper, though. Because I could just get the Unstoppable Force, and I thought it was better.
Hey guys, what's up? Mad Season here, back with another episode in the Azeroth Arsenal. In the last episode of this series, I started covering the Tier 0.5 armor set, or the Dungeon Set 2, as some people call it. So, this video will be the conclusion of this chain. If you remember, we left off doing a bit of ghost hunting, we did a timed Strat home run, made a special banner, summoned a special boss in the Blackrock Depths instance, and got the first of 3 fragments of a medallion to break an ancient curse.
No,
we brought this medallion back to Antheon.
I'll finish this video and I'll restart.
He tells you to return to Deliana or Makvar, and that someone named Bodley is the only hope of finding the 2 remaining pieces. Returning to them allowed you to trade in 3 more pieces, the boots, which were purple, and the pants and shoulders. Just 2 more pieces to go, the head and chest. You're told to track down Bodley, who was last seen entering the Blackrock Spire in the Blackrock Mountain. So, you bring the Ghost Revealer with you, and use it to speak with his ghost, and he gives you the last 2 parts, the head, chest, and that's quest complete.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
Nah, just kidding. You need to travel to the other side of the world to get an item called the Cinder of Cinders.
Yep, there you go.
This dropped from an NPC named the Duke of Cinders in the Silithus Zone.
Oh yeah,
but he's not just like any other NPC. You have to do a little ritual to summon him.
Yep.
You need to kill Twilight cultists within the zone until you obtain 3 pieces of their armor as a disguise. A cowl, a mantle, and the robe.
Yep.
Having all 3 gave you access to something called a Windstone, which allowed you to summon the Lord of Cinders. To do that though, you first needed a medallion called the Twilight Cultist Medallion of Station.
Like back in the day, like you didn't
to
just
get
fuck
this,
around to do this on
you needed
accident.
to complete a quest chain. And to start this chain, you needed to do some farming to reach the friendly reputation with the Cenarian Circle.
Yep.
Aw man, this is reminding me of the Burning Crusade attunement. Not getting into rep farming, once you do that, you talk to an NPC named Aurel Goldleaf in the Cenarian Hold in Silithus, and you needed to bring her 1 large brilliant shard and 3 items called Abyssal Crests. You got these Abyssal Crests by equipping that Twilight set you got earlier, and clicking on lesser windstones located throughout the zone to summon an elemental, which dropped the crests.
This shit was actually
Turning
really hard
in the
to
materials
do.
gave you the medallion, which gave you a 1 in 4 chance upon clicking the windstones of summoning the Duke of Cinders.
These are like 10-man
If you're lucky enough to summon him, you kill him, get the Cinder, and bring it back to...
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think one of them was like one version of it was really hard.
Oh yeah, Bodley needed this. You know, you lose track after a while.
Yeah, you sure fucking do.
But he also needed 2 more items called the Incendicite of Incendius, which dropped from Lord Incendius, a boss in the Blackrock Depths. And he also needed the Ember of the Emberseer, which dropped from the Pyroguard Emberseer in the Upper Blackrock Spire.
You guys remember this? The boss, it would take like 8 minutes for the boss to finally spawn and slowly grow a little bit bigger, and then you'd kill him in 3 seconds and it wouldn't even matter. God, that was so fucking annoying.
Which was only opened with the Seal of Ascension, which you got from...
Another quest line.
I'm not going into that one again.
Yep.
And lastly, you also need an item called the Hallowed Brazier, which you could only buy from the Argent Dawn faction for 120 gold.
I never knew what that did.
Honored reputation level or higher.
I had no fucking idea.
So, you bring all this stuff back to Bodley, and you'll give you 1 of 4 quests selected at random.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you guys the video link.
It'll be called the Components of Importance, and the possibilities are to retrieve a brilliant sword of zealotry, which is looted from the elite Scarlet Praetorians located in the elite Tier's Hand Zone in the Eastern Plaguelands.
Ooh,
Another
Tyr's
possibility
hand.
was to
Farm some
retrieve the soul
Crusader
ashes of
orbs.
the Banished, which you got from the undead located on the Purgation Isle, which could be found off the coast of the Hillsbrad foothill zone.
Yeah, those were also 60
Option
elites.
number 3 was
were
to
hard to
acquire
kill.
the druidical remains from the Silithid, located at Hive Regal in the southeast Silithus.
And those were elite too.
And
like all
number
these
4
mobs were
was
all
to
elite.
track down the Starbreeze
Goddamn.
Village relic, which you can find back at the Frost Whisper Gorge in southern Winterspring from the Frostmaw Giants there.
Also elite.
All 4 of these quests involved killing elite enemies, which were soloable with the right class and gear, but still, they were tough.
This shit was hard to do.
But whichever one you got, you brought back to Bodley, and he gave you the follow-up quest. If you got the Blade of Zealotry, your next goal is to take the brazier you put together earlier in the final boss room of the human side of Stratholme to summon 2 undead enemies named Jarian and Sathos.
I don't remember this at all.
You kill them and loot the left piece
Holy
of the
shit.
amulet. Or, in the previous part,
Damn.
if you got the soul ashes, you then head to the Scholomance dungeon into Ras Frost Whisper's room, which was near the end of the instance,
Wow.
and you use this brazier to summon an ogre named Cormac.
Dude, this is
If
so
you instead
fucking
got
crazy.
the Druidical Remains quest, the follow-up for that was to head to the War Master Voon's room in the lower Blackrock Spire
Think about how
to summon a
complex
Tauren
this
druid
shit is.
named Mor Greyhoof.
Like, I
And
don't know.
lastly, if you got the relic,
Okay,
you needed to go to
yes.
the Satyr, all's in the Wild Shaper's
We
room,
killed this guy
all
for
the way
transmog
in the
gear.
Daramal East dungeon.
Yep.
You kill him, and using the brazier, you summon the Night Elf, Isalian.
Yep, we had to kill her for the
So,
transmog.
of course, all 4 of these required a full group to summon and kill. And, just like Theldrin and the Blackrock Depths, they all dropped loot, and some are still sought after as transmogs to this day.
Yep.
Players who
got
completed
'em
this
all,
whole
boys.
chain and kept a
We
certain
got 'em
item
all.
can still summon a few of them, but since the chain was so long, hard, and expensive,
Most people
these
don't have the
people are
items anymore.
extremely rare to find.
Yeah, there's probably only like a dozen
Anyways,
of them left.
whichever scenario
Which is
you got,
insane.
you turned into Bodley, and that's 2 of
The
the 3
quests are not going to
fragments.
be on release.
And
No.
for the next part, he asks you to gather some reagents to cast a spell to track down
Long
the 3rd
and hard.
fragment.
Just like
This
vanilla.
happens to be 20 blood kelp from Naga, located on the Alkaz Island in the Dustswallow Marsh Zone.
Oh, how convenient.
These Naga were all high-level elites,
Level
so they
62
were difficult,
elites.
but soloable,
Yep.
again with the right class and gear. And the next 2 parts are basically just repeats of the previous parts. You know the portion of the chain where there were 4 possibilities? Out of the remaining 3 scenarios, you'll get 1 randomly for the next 2 parts. So, the sword from Tyr's hand, the ashes from Purgation Isle, the druidical remains from Silithus, or the relic from Winterspring. And after that, you get one of those 4 quests to go into one of the dungeons to summon another boss. Doing
Mediocre
so
song
gave
about
you the
classic
final
beta?
piece of the amulet. The last
Really?
part required you to go into the raid,
Okay,
the
let me
Upper
look
Blackrock Spire, and kill the elite orcs there until you got 40 Blackrock bracers. And just in case you thought that you were home free in terms of gold, you also needed a flask of Supreme Power, which was a spell power flask for vanilla.
Oh my god.
It was of course made by alchemists.
I feel like you could just take all this gold and sell it for real money and buy enough shares of Blizzard to just get them to release Burning Crusade faster. This is insane. Think about how much fucking money you have to put into this quest, and it's just some random ass blue and epic gear. Like, I can't even believe it. This is so insane. Yeah, obviously people like, we have like a thing that automatically times out people that put like try hard whenever I say something that there's obviously a racist connotation to. My mods are gods, okay guys? We have those people under control. Yeah, there are no spurgs allowed in my stream. We're keeping them under wraps and under control.
And it was pretty expensive. You brought all of this back to Bodley. The next part was the finale. You needed to go back into the Upper Blackrock
I don't
Spire
remember this.
and summon Lord Valthalak himself.
Yeah, I
As
don't
I
remember
mentioned,
ever doing this part.
guy was an elite Draconid, and you summoned him in the Beast's room, so once again, near the
Okay.
end of the raid. It was actually a pretty tough fight, involving
Really?
3 phases total where he drains life, summons
Shit.
adds, enrages, and
Damn.
throws out Shadow Bolt volleys. A worthy final
Goddamn.
boss to this insane quest chain.
That's actually pretty
If you were
fucking
successful
cool.
though, you used the completed amulet on his corpse to summon his spirit and he agrees to end the curse now that the amulet is returned. The next step is to return to Bodley, and he tells you to return to Deliana for the Alliance or Mokvar for the Horde, and they thank you by letting you trade in your Tier 0 chest and helmet for their Tier 0.5 counterparts.
I wish I could go back and do this quest right now.
He or she wishes you luck and hopes that this armor will protect you for a long time,
that's a great one.
Or until the next expansion, I guess. And that's it. That's the chain completed. You're a little older, a little more broke, but you have your new set. Older, actually. Maybe it didn't have better stats than the rating sets, but it was definitely more rare, and in its own way, more difficult to get. The true set for the non-rating player. True. Today, of course, thanks to the Cataclysm, the chain and thus the armor sets are now removed from the game, but you still can obtain both the Tier 0 and 0.5 as transmogs from the Darkmoon Fair if you'd like. They just exist for looks though, and they don't have any stats. Another bonus is that if you completed this chain, you got to keep the tools to summon any of the bosses anytime you want, in case you wanted some of their unique loot.
Oh!
Cormac from Skolomance,
so that's why
from the
people were able to
Blackrock Depths,
resummon it over and over.
Jarian and Sothos from Strathholm, Asalian from Dire Maul, more Greyhoof from the Lower Blackrock Spire, and Valthalak from the Upper Blackrock Spire.
We should go through and kill all those mobs.
Due to the many dungeon re-releases, there's not a lot that you can actually summon still. Only Asalian, more Greyhoof, and Theldrin survived the revamps, and the rest are lost forever.
We've never killed the Druid before, but we killed the other two.
Or I guess until Classic servers release. But that's about it.
True.
If you watched this for entertainment, I hope you found it entertaining, and if you watched it as a guide, I hope you found it helpful. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Azeroth Arsenal.
You know what's so badass? Is that people actually are going to be able to use that as a
farewell for now, mortals.
They will.
We hope you enjoyed today's
It will be
video.
soon, too.
See you again soon.
Remember the Nagaholic exploration video, Vanilla by Dopefish brings you back all classic feelings? Yeah, I do remember watching that, man. Thank you very much, Magic Dave. I appreciate that. Too long, but probably worth skimming. Yeah, it's kind of a long video. I'm going to watch the FTS video after this, and then maybe something else after that if the servers still aren't up. I might be out of here, but Classic's not even out, and everyone's asking what's next. Why is that? Well, people always want to know, like, what's happening, right? They want to know, like, what they're looking forward to and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's just, like, very common for people to expect to see that, right? Do a world first of this quest. I will, actually. Watch the tips out video, please. Well, we'll see which one we're going to watch, all right? Do you guys want to watch the, there's two questions, two. The tips out video about classic TBC or patch 1.13, like content beyond vanilla, or the Etienne video. Which ones do you guys want to see? Hopefully, the servers aren't down long enough for us to have to watch both. Tips or Etienne? I think everybody's going to just put, okay, most people are saying Etienne. All right, yeah, let's go with that one. I actually expected people to say tips because most people wouldn't know how to spell Etienne. So I'm impressed, guys. Good job. All right, we'll take a look at this one first. It's only a 10-minute video, so if this one's over and the servers still aren't up, we'll go and we'll watch the tips one after this, okay? Yeah, I'm double-checking here. Yeah, server's still offline. Okay, 1 second. Let me make sure that I catch up with all the rest of these. 1 year anniversary of the passing of Total Biscuit. Pour one out for the YouTube and Twitch legend. Hey, he was, man. He definitely was. That's sorry to hear. Chuckler, thank you very much for the 500 bits. Alliance is trash for the Horde. Rogue Slasher, thanks a lot for the $2, man. Appreciate that. If I manage to get 60 within 7 to 8 real days after launch, would you consider giving me a chance to prove myself and eventually join raiding guild? Yeah, I would. Asmon, I'm sorry I made fun of you and your mods. I never spammed. You can log me. Please unban. Okay, we're gonna look at one person and then we're gonna get done. All right. Do you think your breakfast stream made your current streams better? Yeah, I think so. I'm a lot more relaxed in general now, and I'm glad to be that way. Absolutely. Keep going. Make WoW perma #1 on Twitch. I'm going to do my best, man. I definitely will. Saw the political debate from Train, Destiny, and Sargon. Comments loved you. You're on a great neutral moderator. Hope you do it again. I will. Like, if Train wants to do another political podcast, I will absolutely be willing to do that with him. And I enjoyed it last time, and I will probably enjoy it this time as well. Let me just go ahead and open up this guy's logs, and we will see what we've got here. All right, there we go. Asmongold. All right, let's look at your logs, and we'll start the video. PvP server, twit longer, mods banned emote. Let's see, 70 candy. why don't you tone down the talking about the view count stuff, man? Like, that's like, people that do that a lot, like, I don't know, it's usually a lot of, like, usually a combination of, like, a lot of people that act that way are, like, really spurgy, right? Because they're like, oh, I was here, I'm part of something. Like, just relax, man. Just enjoy the show. Just enjoy the show and have a good time. You're unbanned. Okay, let's go. This is the greatest quest chain probably ever made. Only 6 killing boards gonna join your guild? No meme? Yeah, you can join. There it is, man. There it is. Jagged Wild, thank you very much for sub. There's Atiash himself. What time next week? There's the guy. 5 times what I make. Yo, that's why people keep donating.
Hey guys.
Thanks.
The latest poll has concluded, and the winner is the Azrath Arsenal Atiash. So
yeah,
that's what we'll be doing today. Atiash is to casters, as the Ashbringer is to paladins. It's the ultimate caster weapon, firmly etched into Warcraft's mythology and lore.
It's the most badass weapon in the game.
It's made appearances in the books, the movie, and of course World of Warcraft itself.
Yep.
Wielded by iconic characters such as Egwene, the Last Guardian Medivh, and Khadgar, it's the weapon of choice for the Guardians of Tirisfal.
No, it's not.
Its appearance is pretty simple, at least in comparison to the other vanilla legendaries. It's a long wooden weapon reinforced with arcane magic and stylized with a raven carved into the head, the symbol of the Guardians. Not only does it serve as a conduit of power for its wielder, but it's also capable of opening a portal to Karazhan, the former home of the Last Guardian, and even allowing transformation into the form of a raven for transportation.
So my friend and I, we got Atiash for him. We would open up portals to Karazhan, and we would have Lobies take the portal, and then have the mobs kill him. I actually had access to this guy's account. I could have merged his account with my account, and I could have had Atiash on my account. But I was ethical, and I didn't do it. What a mistake. What a fucking mistake.
It holds incredible power, but only the strongest can bring out its full potential. After Medivh's corruption and death.
That was the guy, by the way, just to bring all this full circle. Kryptonites was the one that was explaining 4 horsemen for 2 hours, and then the raid wiped in 2 seconds. That's the same guy. That's why he got Atiash. Do you think that he would actually have put that much effort into doing Naxxramas if he wasn't getting Atiash out of it? Put the pieces together. It's all real.
The weapon was cursed and passed around to various members of the Kirin Tor, who were the mages of Dalaran. However, anyone who wielded it died shortly after. In light of this, and with the line of guardians coming to a close, the Kirin Tor judged the weapon to be unwieldable and locked it away behind barriers of magic in their city of Dalaran. And on top of this, since it was such a powerful artifact, a guardian would also keep a watchful eye over it and protect it from any would-be thieves.
Of course.
It laid there for many years until the Eredar Demon Lord, Archimonde, attacked the city. A failsafe triggered with a barrier guarding Atiash, and the staff was shattered into many pieces and spread throughout the land. The shards, 40 in total, were collected by the Scourge.
I didn't know that.
The archaeologist, Brand Bronzebeard, found the base, which he then lost to the old god Cthulhu when he was exploring the Temple of Ahn'Qiraj.
Oops.
Way to go, Bran.
My bad.
And Kel'Thuzad, the Lich Lord and commander of Naxxramas, held the Raven head of the staff. Which brings us to World of Warcraft. This weapon was obtainable by players with the original Naxxramas, which was released in patch 1.11, and removed in patch 3.0.2 in light of its remake in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. It was the first caster legendary in the game, and the first legendary to be obtained through consistent and hard work, rather than just a lucky drop like the other vanilla legendaries such as Thunder Fury and the Hand of Ragnaros.
That's actually really true, I never thought of that.
As mentioned, it all started with the Naxxramas raid. This was the final raid for classic World of Warcraft, and was appropriately the toughest.
This is how legendaries should be.
Nearly every boss was an extreme challenge, and with AQ40 being the previous raid, it was like the 1-2 death punch to raiding guilds back then.
Fuck yes.
Very few cleared it before the release of the Burning Crusade expansion. Part of this was due to the expansion being announced so quickly.
Nobody cared.
After the raid release.
They knew all their shit was going to get replaced.
Everyone
just like
knew that any gear they got would quickly be replaced in their journey from 60 to 70, so there was very little motivation to trudge through this raid, let alone complete a legendary staff. So, only the most dedicated and skilled would clear through all of it, and even fewer would see Atish completed before the release of the Burning Crusade.
I never saw a single person that had Atish until in Vanilla WoW. Never. Not a single person. The reason why Atish was the perfect legendary is because you could do everything that you wanted, but until you actually completed the game and killed Kel'Thuzad, you would never see the legendary. You would never get it. And the legendary became a reward from raiding rather than a requirement. And that's what happens with legendaries nowadays. Is there a requirement? This was the ideal pinnacle achievement of the game, right here. And that's what made it so special. Then you say you help someone get it?
As hard as it was to complete, it was also pretty straightforward. As mentioned before, the Scourge captured the fragments of Atish after its destruction in Dalaran. They ended up in the hands of actual bosses in the raid, and each one had a chance to drop a legendary item called the Splinter of Atish. Reading the tooltip, you saw that if you combined 40 of these, you could reform the frame of Atish. Only one person could loot these at once, so guilds had to somehow pick just one lucky raider to receive the legendary staff. This was done by the old DKP system, veteran status, rank status. No matter what, though, you can bet that there was a lot of drama to be found since it was such a highly sought-after weapon.
Yep.
The lucky classes that could end up using it were the Druid, the Priest, Warlock, and of course the Mage.
Ninja would
so you couldn't ninja raided and raided and raided,
you couldn't really ninja
and once you had all 40 shards, just as promised, you form a legendary item called the Frame of Atish, which is actually a quest starter. Clicking on it would give you a quest that sends you to Anachronos. You may remember him as the main quest giver for the Scepter of the Shifting Sands questline. You could find him outside of the then closed Caverns of Time, and before you could talk to him, you had to be neutral with the Brood of Nozdormu faction.
That shit was hard to do too, by the way.
You typically had this
was annoying
if you were actively raiding AQ40 though, so it wasn't too bad. The only tricky part was that the quest didn't actually mention Anachronos. It just said go find someone who can cleanse the frame. And with no quest markers, it was no easy feat.
You had no idea.
This was back in the day where a lot of the quests were just
you just
go
went
find
on a
this
fucking
guy.
Adventure.
So it either took a lot of scouring, word of mouth, or thoughtbot. But either on your own or with the help of the internet, you eventually tracked him down.
Imagine being the first dude
He remarks
that
the staff still holds great evil, but to cleanse it, we must first fully assemble it. He gives you a pretty simple follow-up quest.
Yeah, it's
Obtain
simple.
the base
Just go
of
kill
Atish
Kel'Thuzad
from the final boss in the AQ40 raid, Cthulhu, and the head from the final boss of the Naxxramas raid, Kel'Thuzad. You know, the typical quest. So, like I said, really straightforward, but still really difficult. I won't go on with how tough this was, but I will note that even though it was one tier behind, AQ40 was still very difficult. In fact, when it was first released, Cthulhu was thought to be mathematically impossible to beat, even with the best gear and perfect execution, and in fact was only killed after a big nerf.
Yep.
The only upside was that it was at least a 100% drop as long as you had the quest, And it would
I didn't
also
know those
drop
items
for
were
multiple
legendary.
quest bearers.
I forgot all about that.
So,
I thought they were
a
just white
challenge
items,
that
actually.
only the best could complete. And if they were successful, there's just one more step, to cleanse the staff.
The final task will be the most difficult of all, Badgar. You have faced and defeated both an old god and the Lich King's general, but now you must face the hand of Sargeras. Take this staff to Stratholme. It is there that you will find a piece of consecrated earth, ground where the greatest knights of Wardrun were murdered. Place the befouled staff upon the holy ground and prepare for an entity of immense power to break from within. Defeat the demonic being that controls the staff and return it to me. That is fucking badass, dude. That is fucking badass.
It's still the epitome of all evil, and it will destroy its wielder, so the next step was to head to the Stratholme dungeon with 4 party members to purify it.
4 champions. Like, these are people like in full Nax Ramas gear that were going in to fight against this boss. There he is. There he fucking is.
Near the undead side, next to a fountain, you could find a patch of consecrated earth.
Yep.
The quest holder would have to stand atop this spot and perform a short ritual, and at the end, a demon named Atiesh would spawn. This was the evil that's been inhabiting this staff for all of these years at the behest of Sargeras himself. You'd have to take it down to finally cleanse the staff once and for all. It was a pretty tough fight with just 5 people. The demon itself dual-wielded a legendary. He had dual swords called Adonisis, the Reaper of Souls.
Yep.
If a player disarmed the demon during the fight, he would actually drop it on the ground, and you'd be able to wield it against him.
It
had an item level of 100 and some crazy attack power, but it was a conjured item and was only usable inside of Stratholme.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it disappeared once you exited the dungeon.
Very unfortunate.
If you were successful, you returned to Anachronos, and he gave you the cleansed Atiesh as a reward. Each class got a slightly different version, but in general, it had tons of spell power, stamina, intellect, spirit, hit or crit chance, and an aura that buffed your party members, which was pretty unique at the time.
People actually kept using that staff even into Burning Crusade, because the aura, basically like high-end guilds would use the aura and just multiply it by 4 and just say that staff gave that person effectively that much spell power, and it was actually better than a lot of items if you were using it purely for a group benefit. I remember like the same guy did that too.
And you could also open a portal to Karazhan in the Deadwind Pass that you and your party members could use. Although there really wasn't a reason to be here until the Burning Crusade expansion when the raid actually released.
Yeah, you can make a portal to Karazhan.
A little fun fact though is that if you entered the Burning Crusade Karazhan and you walked up to the Shade of Varan boss with Atiesh equipped, you got some extra dialogue. They revisited this in the Legion remake as well with the Shade of Medivh fight.
That's so badass.
The only thing it's missing is the Raven form.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to steal the Druid's thunder. As I mentioned, this was obtainable all the way until patch 3.0.1 in Wrath, when the raid was remade, and anyone who obtained it before then also got themselves a feat of strength to show off. And similar to the other weapons in this series, it also has a card dedicated to it in the official trading card game. Appropriately, only the Druid, Priest, Warlock, and Mage classes could use it. As I mentioned, it also appeared in the Warcraft movie. They ended up having an auction for all of the props, and this one sold for nearly $5,000.
Yo, we should have bought
Let's hope it was cleansed first.
We should have done it. We should have done
and
donation
today,
goal
lore-wise,
for that.
it's in the hands of the Archmage Khadgar.
Like,
so it gets a little awkward if a player wielder interacts with them.
Yeah, it's true.
Very few survive today, as you would imagine, so if you see one out in the wild, make sure you press F to pay respects. Well, that's about it. Kind of a shorter video for the standard of the series, but as I said, it's pretty straightforward. Still though, I hope you found the video interesting or entertaining. Like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Holy shit, man.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video. See you again soon.
This is the video that I just watched. That was actually a really great video. I love that video. I wish that they had like more shit like this in the game that was like actually like capstone achievements. I think that like Blizzard, I think they can go back to it, but they're gonna need like, I'm gonna be completely real with you guys. Like current WoW, it won't be good for like 4 more years, if ever. And at this point in time, they need to do something that's just a full reset. Like somehow they need to do a full reset of like everything in the game. Like mounts, titles, achievements, pets, gear, everything. Like literally a full reset. And if I am supporting this, I can guarantee you there might be 1 or 2 other people that are watching the stream that have more items than I do in WoW, but there's probably a good chance that no one that's watching the stream does. And if I'm okay with this, you should be too. It's the right thing to do to move the game forward. Yeah, they should do WoW 2 or something like that. That is, in my opinion, the only way they can carry the game forward. And have it reclaim its success that it used to have. That's my opinion, at least. Watch the WoW Classic experience. What is this? Is this game good? Yes. That was easy. We'll watch the tips video, and then we'll watch that afterwards if the servers are still not up. But we'll see what's going to happen, okay? Or they can make Blizzard. Well, no, I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Is that, like, if they remade WoW, like, yeah, it would be a huge investment, but I think it would be the right thing for them to do. How much of the actual time do I have? Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends, like, how much when the servers come up. Like, we're just waiting. Bronze Dragonflight does an anti-cataclysm. Well, they need to do something to just completely reset the entire game. And one way or another, they need to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and start this.
It's December 2021. Peeking through the window of your poorly lit man cave,
you look out upon a desolate wasteland. Donald Trump had declared war last winter with Russia, and at this point, there's few and far civilizations, and nobody has any internet or running water. I can't go any farther with that.
You stare aimlessly at the falling white cold piling up on your lawn. A few feet behind you, a monitor beams bright, the shape of a man at its center. It's your level 60 warrior. Standing tall and proud, your character wields a Might of Menethil and casually dons a full set of Dreadnought armor. Of course. You finally achieved your childhood dreams.
Yep. Now what?
Now what?
Exactly.
It's a scenario we've all run through our heads 1,000 times. After all, vanilla has ended once before. And the more time we spend thinking about this inevitability, the more our imaginations run wild. So although I've never been a fan of putting the cart before the horse, I do think it's justified to ask the dreaded question on many of our minds. What happens to classic WoW when Naxxramas, the final raid in vanilla World of Warcraft, is on farm? Possibility number 1, the Burning Crusade.
Yep.
Probably the most intuitive path forward.
That's what makes sense.
With Blizzard finally validating the business case of Classic WoW, it would make sense for the corporation to capitalize on Classic's success by re-releasing its spiritual successor. And seeing as a large portion of the Classic community is just as fond of TBC as they are vanilla, I think it's safe to assume the majority of Classic players would love to continue their Warcraft journey into Outlands. Development costs of the venture would be relatively low, all things considered, and Blizzard could use TBC Realms as another incentive for Classic fans to purchase modern WoW expansions. The whole idea is pretty risk-averse and financially prudent. But believe it or not, TBC is not the only path forward for Blizzard. There are a few other scenarios that I could see taking place post-Naxx, with one scenario gaining momentum within the community in these past few months. This scenario is called Patch 1.13. Possibility number 2, Patch 1.13.
Warriors can charge in combat.
While TBC servers seem like the intuitive go-to post-Naxx, I've been noticing that the Patch 1.13 movement has been gaining steam online. Rather than progress into World of Warcraft's first expansion, some players are requesting that Classic WoW continue beyond the Necropolis with additional level 60 content in what has been colloquially referred to as patch 113. In this patch and beyond, Blizzard would release content that was originally intended for vanilla but never had a chance to fully develop prior to the Burning Crusade. Some examples of this unfinished content are the Emerald Dream, the Dragon Isles, and the Karazhan Crypts. Developing this content would allow players...
Wait a second, let me look at that. I never saw that picture before. Holy shit. Wow. Damn. Yeah, I didn't even see this at all. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, they should have done this. I straight up have not even seen there's videos of this place. I've never seen it.
Dragon Isles and the Karazhan Crypts. Developing this content would allow players to continue progressing in the vanilla world pre-Outlands, but with new content to keep the experience fresh. I've got to be honest, when I was first making this video, I thought this idea was a bit outlandish, no pun intended. After all, I'm no changes.
There you go.
But even on the business side of things, investing millions of dollars into development of an unproven concept when you have a fully developed, surefire hit available in the pipeline is the opposite of prudent. But then I remembered a sad yet important reality in today's world: real money transactions and DLC. Back in 2004, DLC was not as nearly common as it is today. Games as a service wasn't as viable a business model, as the internet was still in its infancy.
To spend money for a game I already bought.
Why wouldn't a corporation, especially Activision Blizzard, who made a whopping 60% of their revenue from microtransactions last quarter, pursue a DLC option before advancing to the next expansion? Patch 1.13, 1.14, and 1.15 could all be separate DLC packs, each costing $30 to $40, and could prolong user subscriptions for the next expansion's release. It's a cynical thought, but in today's world, it wouldn't really surprise me. I'm not a fan of DLC, or any form of in-game transaction in a subscription-based game, so let's hope things don't come to this. After all, there are still other routes that Blizzard can take. Possibility number 3, fresh or seasonal servers. If you've been observing the phenomenon of unofficial realms, you may...
Unofficial realms. I think they should do this. They should do at least 2 of these. They should make fresh realms, and they should make TBC realms, in my opinion. 1.13, hey, I mean, that could go either way. I really can't say how great that would be or not. It's really kind of scary for me to think. But yeah, I think they should absolutely do fresh realms, because that gives people like something to look forward to. It creates hype again, and I think it would be exciting, right? So yeah, I would like to see that. 1.13 sounds better than TBC to me. Well, people like feel differently about it. For me personally, I'd like to see TBC, but I'd be curious to see what 1.13 would look like if Blizzard wanted to do it. I mean, I'm curious. I'm not saying I want them to do it, but I'd be curious, like, what would that even be? Because the problem with 1.13, right, is that you're going to have a point where characters just get so powerful because of the Naxir. Naxir is already, like, really, really good. And it's going to be a situation where basically, like, the more hit rating you have, or let's say, the more strength you have, the more the critical strike rating helps you, right? Because you do even more damage. So they scale on top of each other. So if you have a bunch of different tiers, you're going to have the same issue that you have in current WoW, where people's power growth throughout the expansion becomes massive. And I don't know how they can counteract that. Yeah, they'd have to do like an item squish or something. So I don't know.
I've noticed a recent trend in player preference, the willingness of players to abandon high-level characters on long-established realms in lieu of a fresh server experience. I've noticed this trend catching fire in the past 18 months or so, with private servers rising to meet the demand. It's somewhat counterintuitive, the idea of spending hundreds of hours leveling to 60 and gearing up, only to start all over again on a different server. Yet there is something to be said about the fresh server experience. The feeling of rushing through the starting zones, trying to get ahead of the pack, and the fact that you start on the same level as everyone else is enticing.
Every time.
Maybe the future of Classic WoW is simply more Classic WoW, with new servers released periodically to reinvigorate players looking for a fresh experience.
This should happen regardless.
This scenario might seem unlikely, but logistically speaking, it's actually the easiest. No development costs would be required, the community would remain unsplit, and Blizzard wouldn't have to worry about supporting 2 versions of Classic
exactly.
alongside the modern game.
Exactly.
I'd call it the lazy boy route if it weren't for possibility number 4. Possibility number 4, nothing. Classic WoW stays as is. In the unlikely event that Classic WoW flops, and J. Allen Brack was right all along...
You think you do, but you don't.
It's probable that Classic Vanilla is all we'll get. That means a permanent patch 1.12.2, the last patch of Vanilla, where full Tier 3 could become as ubiquitous as this dumb meme. And as somebody who's wanted Classic Realms since Wrath, I'm totally okay with that. Sure, I would love to venture onwards into the Burning Crusade, an expansion I didn't get to play much back in the day, but it's really always been about Vanilla for me, even if it means a stagnant 1.12.2 realm. If you're worried that option number 4 means that Blizzard could shut down the servers and abandon the project entirely, don't be. During an interview with PC Gamer at BlizzCon, J. Allen Brack stated the following: I think there will be a lot of tourists, but it doesn't matter what I think, because once we're committed to doing this at a Blizzard level, which we are, whatever happens is going to happen. If millions of people show up and play for years, that's awesome, and if just tens of people show up and play for years, we're fine either way. What's important to us is that we have this classic experience people can enjoy, that people do have the opportunity to go back to. From this statement, I think Blizzard's commitment to the longevity of Classic is clear, so regardless of how the game performs, I don't think you need to be worried about having your progress wiped. So with all
Here's the difference between that and Heroes of the Storm. WoW used to be good, Heroes of the Storm never was.
These possibilities available post-Naxxramas, which one do I think is the most likely? Well, first and foremost, I do believe that Classic WoW will be a resounding success, possibly even more so than the original vanilla game. So that takes option 4 off the table. Additionally, I believe such success warrants more investment into Classic servers, and the byproduct of this investment would be some kind of post-1.12.2 content, eliminating option 3 as well. Now, I do want to note that option 3, periodic fresh servers, is not mutually exclusive to developing TBC servers or patch 1.13. So it's entirely possible we see option 3 continue in parallel to options 1 or 2, which brings us to the final showdown. If Classic WoW is successful, will Blizzard transition into the Burning Crusade and possibly Wrath of the Lich King, or will Blizzard choose to develop 1.13 content and beyond for the original Classic game? If you go back and read the post-BlizzCon interview transcripts, I think the answer is pretty clear.
Okay,
sure,
what are they saying?
Patch 1.13 content could be sold as DLC, could prolong subscriptions, and could satisfy vanilla loyalists with unexplored content. But at what cost? Millions of dollars in development for starters, not to mention extensive testing and quality control. Marketing expenses could pile up as well to promote the new content, and perhaps most importantly, there's always the risk of upsetting the core vanilla audience Blizzard sought to recapture in the first place.
Killing an entire pack of mobs and an elite.
Blizzard could make a decent amount of money off of post-1.12.2 DLC packs if they wanted, but that's assuming everything goes well, which, as we know in games development, is seldom the case. That's why, in my opinion, if Classic WoW does succeed, the surest way forward is to release Burning Crusade servers while giving vanilla fans the option of maintaining their characters on the original realms or copying characters over to the new TBC realms. Additionally, as I've stated before,
that's exactly what I think they should do too.
Could be rolled out sporadically in parallel to satisfy the demand of the fresh server experience. Financially and logistically, this option makes the most sense. But what do you guys think? Do you think Blizzard will take the Burning Crusade route, the patch 1.13 route, or perhaps another route entirely? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. And of course, for more Classic WoW news, content, and discussion, join our Discord community, linked in the description below. We're barely 2 days old, and we've already hit 150 members. So if you want to join our rapid growing community, just go ahead and click on the invite link in the description, and we'll chill. Enjoy the rest of your day, fellas. And as always, tips out, baby.
Here's the way I look at it, right? I get what he's saying, right? I totally do agree. But I think 1.13 content would be interesting to see. Like, not even that I want him to bring it out, but I just want to see what it would look like in a hypothetical world. I am just so concerned about them ruining the game, right? Because, like, imagine if they bring out 1.13 and it fucks up Classic. That would be awful. You guys actually want a straw poll on this? Like, we can do it. I mean, if you guys want. Okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and set this up. All right. Yeah, I already lost that one. Okay. Which one would you prefer? Okay. Let's see. TBC. 1.13. And fresh servers, we're just going to assume that people want fresh servers. I don't really see that as ever being a negative to anybody. So yeah, I think fresh servers would be fine. Seasonal, yeah, no, because I think that seasonal servers are going to happen regardless. Blizzard would be stupid to not do seasonal servers. Because a lot of people, it's just literally all you're doing is creating the hype all over again by doing the same thing you've already done. Like, it's easy. You literally just turn back time. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we've got TBC. A lot of people want 1.13. I'm actually surprised that it's as divided as it is. I expected TBC to be like 80%. But there's a lot of people that actually do want to see new vanilla WoW content. I think that there's a lot of like mystery that is involved with vanilla WoW. And so whenever you actually see the opportunity to maybe explore some of that mystery, a lot of people would want to see that. I fucking understand that entirely. But I don't know if that would really be the right decision to make. Yeah, you lied. Okay, I'll link it one more time, okay? But it seems like it's about, 1.13 is like 2/3 of TBC. That's pretty much it. Make a new game on PC, on mobile. Well, I think they should make a new WoW. Like, they need to figure out a way to remake the game. There's too much bloat in the game now, and until they fix that bloat, we're not going to have anything like we had before, all right? That's my opinion. Overwatch MMO, we'll see what happens. But that's my opinion, is I think they should just redo the entire game. They need to have, like, okay, sorry, they should have done that in Argus. Like, yeah, Sargeras won, and everybody's dead now. And, yeah, we went back to vanilla. And so all your shit's deleted now. And, yeah, that'd basically be it, right? You kill, it's like kind of prestiging. You know, you kill Argus, and you prestige into the new game. That would be fucking great. I actually thought one of the things that they could do, like, this might sound kind of crazy, but what I thought they could do in Argus is they could make you go to Argus, and since time passes differently in Argus, they could make it in the world. They could move Azeroth forward like 70 years in the future and just like change everything up and, you know, remove all the stuff that we used to have. And that's how like Turalian was fighting for so long in Argus. For like thousands of years or whatever the fuck, is because time passes differently in Argus. Yeah, like Interstellar or something like that. Yeah, old characters would be Pog. Yeah, I don't know. I know that might sound crazy, but that's what I would do. At this point, I think they should stop making WoW expansions, and they should make Warcraft 4, and then make WoW 2 follow the events of Warcraft 4. That would, in my opinion, be a perfect timeline. That's what I want to see. Okay, like that is what I really want. Okay, do you guys like that idea? Yeah, I would love to see Warcraft 4 come out, okay? If Warcraft 3 Reforged does well, hopefully that will give Blizzard the confidence to maybe reinsert themselves and reinvigorate the RTS genre and make a fucking Warcraft 4. Yeah, I mean, if it does well, I don't see why they shouldn't make Warcraft 4. Servers are up. Servers are not up. I don't know why you're saying that. Servers are not up. Okay, just 1 second here. The classic WoW experience. So this guy isn't like really a WoW YouTuber. I hate saying YouTuber, but isn't a WoW YouTuber. So we'll see what he has to say about the game, right? In Unreal Engine 4? Yeah, exactly. Let me go ahead and read some of these, okay? Real quick. Just give me a second. Okay. You probably answered this before. Do you like? I would dislike TBC after Classic for the same reason people were upset then. Going from 40-man, 25-man raids, I prefer to avoid that. Well, why not both, right? I don't think that they should force people into doing TBC raids, but I think that if TBC raids are going to come out, then they should allow people to move their characters over, but it shouldn't be one or the other. You should have the option to. Had a similar idea. At the end of BFA, Battle for Azeroth gets destroyed by the heroes, and we go back in time to try and save Azeroth again. I think they need to have some sort of an apocalypse happen. There needs to be a rapture, some sort of apocalypse or something like that. Releasing TBC means the possibility of another Spectral Tiger mount. All right, dude, there it is. Let's see, you guys should do some research into the success of OSRS. Pulled updates and extremely close communication with the community has caused some growth over the years, and RuneScape is even older than WoW. You have no idea how much potential there still is. Yeah, I mean, I think OSRS is a very good template, but so is Burning Crusade. I'm not saying that in any way that's a bad idea at all. I think if they do the 1.13 stuff, maybe it could work out really well. I'm not completely against it, but I am very apprehensive for, I think, a very reasonable reason. Consume Asiros, thank you very much for the $2. Appreciate that. Hasbin, when you're talking about WoW 2, it'd be really cool if you check out my post on /WoW called An Idea. I was thinking the same way, and the game, and thought of a way they could full reset everything. There's a lot of ways they could do it, man. I don't have time to look at your post right now, but I'm fully sure that, you know, a lot of people feel the same way. I always like the idea of rolling resets for WoW, similar to Diablo seasons. Keep it tight, my dude. I agree too, but one of the difference between resets for WoW versus Diablo seasons is Diablo seasons have new things every season, and WoW wouldn't. So I don't know how that would really work, but I do think fresh servers every once in a while would be interesting. I just checked the beta. I think I got in. Did they invite more people? It seems like they did. I used to be a hardcore raider back in vanilla up until Wrath, reactivated my account for the first time in 10 years. I didn't know anything about WoW, but after Kata, I'm excited for vanilla. Check out my tomb on Armory. I don't click on any links and look people up. I'm sorry, man. I can't do that right now. Thank you very much for the $5 though, man. I appreciate that. Guts Berserk, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. I appreciate that too. Hey, Asmongold, I love your content. I'm still watching videos. Check out Shadowbringer's job action trailer. Just dropped the other night, and it's amazing. I'm not really interested in watching that right now, but thank you. I appreciate the 7. Blizzard just trolled everyone wanting to get into the beta with a visual bug. Says we got into the beta. Twitter confirmed it's a bug. Have you shown Moz yet? I can't wait to see him again. I'll show a screenshot of myself killing him at some point, man. Asmon Unit, love whenever you stream. That's all I have for now, but I intend to give as much as possible. Don't worry about it, man. Like, if you want to donate and support the stream, thank you, but don't ever feel like you have to. Keep up the awesome work. Can't wait till Classic. Same. I played since vanilla. I didn't get into the beta. Then I logged into my vanilla hunter, and oh, right, I've seen that one. Thank you very much, Princess Luna. Thank you very much again for the 5. Okay, let me scroll all the way up, and I'll go ahead and take a look at this. Snuts' new video versus today. Snuts is Nuts 2v1. Right now, I'd rather just watch this one first. Okay, login server is full. I don't know about that being the case either. It still shows everything is offline. Okay.
Maybe we'll go with female gnome. The night elves look so much better. I'm just gonna play the night elf. All right. Let's go.
They're a lot hotter. ICM with the 5
Welcome
subs.
back.
Thank you very much.
Oh my god, I'm so excited, dude. I can't fucking believe it, to be honest with you.
Jacob, thanks for the 5.
Greetings.
Yeah, Novel's videos are amazing.
May the stars guide you.
All right. That's right. They don't show you on the map where the shit is.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out
Part
yourself.
of me just wants to go to the human
That's right.
zone, that dreaded wetlands run. I think I'm just gonna leave. Vanilla Darnassus. This is so trippy. Okay, there's the boat that I need. God, do I really want to make this run? How long is this shit? I just really don't want to play a human, so I'm gonna just do this. Look at this timing. It's perfect. It's like the boat arrived specifically for me. I hope you're all ready for me to die.
Loud?
Everyone who ever made a night elf remembers this.
There,
Classic
okay, that
WoW
should be
Toad.
fine.
It's a total of 3 polygons. I'm trying to remember where the gators starts. Fuck, there's one.
Human's
already?
not boring.
I just got here. Oh god, no. Okay, well, this is gonna be a long
Wow, I'm
trip.
starting to get PTSD.
Oh, fucking A. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh my god, dude, this is fucking amazing. Nobody buffs you in retail.
Wait, Jara, that guy's in my guild. I'm like 99% sure Jara's in my guild.
Kiss my ass.
Holy
shit. Oh
shit.
my god, we're fucking here. Oh, welcome back to Vanilla
there it
Bitches. Dude, everyone is so fucking pumped.
Hello.
Everyone is so fucking pumped. How am I supposed to backstab anybody when I move like this? I'm not. People can walk away from
That's
me.
how
I'm not gonna
stealth used to
backstab
be.
shit.
Back in the old days, you used to move slower, not faster whenever you were in stealth, because the game used to make sense.
I need a blacksmith.
Light be with you.
Oh, there we go. Oh my god, that was like all my money.
Can I help you?
Yep.
Oh my god, I can't afford backstab. This is actually amazing.
That's the way it should
true to the vanilla experience. 100%.
Yeah, the game used to make
Look
sense,
at this poor soul. Look at his mana. Oh my god. Oh, I don't miss that.
Yep.
No, she got it. God
Yep.
damn it, dude.
Yep.
I'm like a second off. Ugh,
Sometimes
so
you
sad.
get it, sometimes you get got.
Oh, holy fucking
Go back,
shit,
Willis
dude.
was there? Was he really?
Thank you.
Wow.
I can't. You want my milk or something? Come
Yes,
back
actually.
pumped. How am I supposed
was
to
Willis
backstab
actually
anybody
there? I
when
wanna see
move
it.
like this?
I'm not seeing Lewis.
People can walk away from me. I'm not gonna backstab shit.
Where is he?
I need a blacksmith.
Light be with you.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, yeah,
oh my god, that was
it?
like all my money.
Can I help you?
Oh my god, I can't afford
I think you guys
backstab.
Are lying. Yeah, you guys are fucking
amazing.
lying.
It is true to the vanilla. Dude, I'm like a second off. Oh, it's so sad.
Alright, let's go with the rest of this. Too loud still? No, volume's fine, but I'll turn it down a
Holy
slight bit.
fucking shit, dude.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can't. I can't. You want my milk or something? There you go. I can't get over how slow I move. It's real special. Oh, a freaking pouch.
Oh boy!
It's actually,
wow. Very exciting.
It's actually kind of a big deal. You pretty much beat the game, exactly. Oh, son of a bitch. The aggro radius is so huge.
This game used to be fucking hard, dude. Like leveling,
What?
you must be behind your
I am
target.
behind you. Oh my god.
Look at him not even putting in a report.
That was.
I thought this was a beta test. New water?
Fish got away.
Hey, can't catch them all.
I have a feeling that's gonna keep happening. It's like I want to clear some of these so that if shit goes wrong, it's not totally wrong. Oh my god. It keeps telling me I'm not behind my target, and I'm absolutely behind my target, video game. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, let's get the bandanas here. What? Don't kick me,
Wait,
idiot.
he didn't loot the chest. It was right in front of him.
Jesus.
Greetings.
Oh, I got my red shirt, baby. Yes, red linen shirt, baby. I know it sounds stupid, but that's actually genuinely exciting to me. Okay, here we go. Oh, shit. Prowlers are level 10? Ugh. How many Prowlers do I gotta kill? Oh, jeez. This guy's almost dead.
Sounded like he just looted a level belt.
Yikes, dude.
Belt.
Yeah, baby, let's do it. Group up to kill these bears.
Grouping up to do quests together.
Dude, Priest are OP. He's still an aggro with smite spam. It's another bundle of wood. So does he need this? Do you need this? Yeah, he needs
he does. Turtle made it to the water.
Hey, another party member.
Brexton, thanks for the 5, man. Appreciate it.
Oh my god.
Remember whenever me and Esmon did this and we never died?
Not another
one.
Remember
that? It was great.
Keep running.
Amazing.
No, keep running, friends.
Actual
no, my
gameplay.
friends. See, this is what Modern WoW doesn't have. People don't work together because they don't have to work together. But in Classic, everything was such a pain in the ass that you were forced to work with groups. See, look at us adventuring!
Even people that don't play the game regularly know that. That's the good part about it.
This guy's just telling me what's up. He's standing there. He's like, I can't find any pieces of wood. That was fun. That was good, dude. Working together, you know?
Being nice.
Jolly cooperation.
I like that, dude.
Need Hogger.
Did you clear SM armor?
I don't know if we can do it with 3 people.
We did clear SM armor.
Oh, this is the priest from before. See, look at this group.
I think that's probably the coolest fucking thing, is whenever you quest with somebody in one part in a zone, and then you divert ways, and then you meet back up with them to do like an elite quest later. And then after that, you're best friends forever. It's perfect.
This grouping, this is fucking amazing. Oh no, 11 elite. We got mage kites though, so